Hey, what's up everybody? It is your friend Keith here again in the control room at Essex Recording Studios just outside London in England. We're doing a video today about the sale of Dave Mustaine's guitar collection on Reverb.com. Huge Megadeth fan here, and there's been a lot of speculation and crazy conspiracy theories about where all these guitars went because they sold out in like 2 minutes on this site. It was widely publicized. It was all over the internet for like the last week of October. And on the 4th of November, 2019, in case you're watching this years from now, Dave Mustaine had this huge sale with about 150 items, a lot of which were guitars. I think there's like 16, 17 guitars, something like that. Well, yeah, we saw there was a giant Reddit about who could have bought these. Lots of theories about Russian bots, Japanese businessmen. Even one of the theories was that Reverb kept the guitars themselves and never sold the guitars. They're locked away in a vault somewhere. Well, we're doing a video to let you know exactly what happened to these guitars. And how do I know? Because I bought them. It was me. I'm the culprit. I'm going to tell you who I am, why I bought the guitars, how I bought the guitars, and what I plan to do with the guitars. So stick around, watch the whole thing. If you're new to the channel as well, click like, click subscribe, and check out all the other videos. We've got almost 1,000 videos of up-close features of all sorts of different guitars from all around the world that we get in here through the studio. I'm holding one right now. Guess what? Signed by the man himself right there. I don't know if we're in focus or not, but yes, this is a Dave Mustaine signature Dean. Alright, so first off, who am I? Well, I'm Keith, and along with producer and engineer James Curtis Thomas, I own Essex Recording Studios. We are a very special residential recording studio in England, about half an hour outside London. Alright, we've got over 300 guitars here. We try to have the best gear in the world available for artists to record with. So, for instance, with this collection, anyone's going to be able to come here, touch these guitars, play these guitars, and record with these guitars. Awesome. We also try to help unsigned artists. That's a big part of what we do, is independent music. And these days with rock and metal, record sales are not where they used to be. The record deals are virtually non-existent. So it takes a lot to get like a 5 or 6 piece rock band, metal band into a studio like this and record with very, very expensive equipment. So what we like to do, we do a lot with gear and gear sales, and that helps fund our ability to do a lot of work for a lot of different artists quite cheaply, and sometimes, a lot of times, even free, you know? So that's what we're about, and that's who I am. You might notice my accent's a bit funny. I'm American, even though I live here in England. My background, I was in the Air Force and the Army for quite a number of years, and then I was in the, what they call over here, the motor trade, buying and selling really cool cars all around the world. And that's what I did before I met Mr. James, and we decided to go into business together and do this killer studio. Alright, so why did I buy these guitars? I'll tell you what, tons of internet hate on this. I don't blame people. There's a bit of sour grapes. But one of the big things that we've seen from comments like on Reddit, there's a huge thread on Reddit about this, and also on Facebook and everywhere else, is why didn't you leave some for the rest of us? And guys, I mean, to that I would say, I think on Facebook alone there's like 8 million fans of Megadeth. There's probably, I have to get, I mean, there's tens of millions of Megadeth fans around the world, and there was like a handful of guitars. The rest of us were never going to have one of these guitars. It's just math, guys. At least in this situation, going back to why did I buy them? Well, I'm a super fan for sure. Ask anybody that was around me in high school. I had a Metallica or a Megadeth shirt on like every day of the week. But also, we wanted these guitars to come somewhere that they'd be appreciated. We do the normal videos we do on our channel up close so people could really get an idea of what they were like holding them in their own hands, seeing them really up close, which is just something that these millions of people were never going to be able to do. Also, we wanted people to be able to touch these guitars and play these guitars and record with these guitars if they wanted to, which again, very unlikely in these sales, especially when you get into thousands and thousands of dollars for these instruments. A lot of the time, yeah, they go to non-music industry related businessmen. And they get hidden away, they get put on a wall, they go in a closet. It's a very common story here. We didn't want that to happen with these guitars, and Dave didn't want that to happen with these guitars. So, that's a big part of why we bought them. And lastly, yeah, there's a financial incentive for sure. It is an investment, and the gear we have at the studio definitely is a major part, plays a major role in supporting the studio and our ability to give artists free time and very inexpensive time when they come and record with us. These speakers you see behind me, they're 10 grand, all right? It's going to be a long time before charging someone an hourly rate to record in the studio before one of those speakers gets paid off. So the desk, the microphones, the amp collection, yada yada yada, all that stuff, it doesn't work out financially simply by charging an hourly rate or a daily rate for bands. We wouldn't be able to have this level of equipment for people to use, and they want it, and we want them to have it. So yes, the investing in things like really high-end, very rare guitars helps keep the lights on. So yeah, I hope that gives you some answers about why I bought the guitars. Huge super fan, love Dave, love Megadeth, love Dean guitars. I mean, like I said, got one right here. Got quite a few actually here. And we wanted real musicians to be able to have a chance to come play them and record with them. Now, hey, anyone in the world, book a flight, we'll pick you up at the airport. You can come here, you can crash here. We've got 5 bedrooms, and we can make some music together with these guitars. So yeah. Now, next question I got a few here. I'm looking down at my cheat notes. How did I buy so many of these guitars? How did that happen? Alright, so yeah, there's a little more than a handful, like 15, 16, something like that. How did I get virtually all of them? I didn't get all of them, by the way. There's 2 I think I missed out on. But how did I get so many? Well, part of it was preparation, planning. I had sold one of my cars recently, and I made sure I had that money on hand and available. I had sold some of my premium guitars in my Reverb shop, made sure I had that money on hand, called the credit card company, let them know I'll be doing a lot of purchases from one site, don't freak out, don't have the fraud prevention team block it. Made sure my card was pre-saved with Reverb so I could just go click, 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 go. That was a big part of it. Also, my background, I told you I used to be a motor trader, I used to be a car dealer. I would go to the auction, I'd buy 20 cars in about 20, 30 minutes sometimes. Every week I would go. I would buy a lot of cars. I'd have a few seconds to make a big decision and spend a lot of money on something that I just had to assess in a few seconds. So I have a background in buying in this kind of way. And so one of the things that I did not do is I didn't read any of the descriptions. I saw the title and I went for it. They could have been broken, headstock cracks, repairs, who knows what history could have been with it. But I thought the value was there. That was my assessment. And I took some risk there, for sure. And that contributed to why I was able to buy so many of them. Yeah, guys. I mean, that's pretty much, I think that answers that question. There was no bots, there was no software, nothing like that. I just went through each individual one. Okay, I'll have that. I'll check out, click buy, yep, next. That's that. And that is why they went so fast. Surprisingly, just so you guys know, I saved the cheapest ones last. I've got the banjo, the bass, the few acoustics. I was more focused on the top of the range, and for whatever reason, nobody was going for those. So I waited till the end. They were still available, and I got those too. All right, so what was another question we had? What am I going to do with all of these guitars? Well, I think that ties into the why did I buy the guitars. They're going to come here. We are going to do a video documentary on all of them, the whole collection and all of them individually. So we're going to do that. We're going to get some really cool metal artists we know. Some from perhaps the Jackson USA Facebook group. We've got some friends and local bands that are pretty big that want to come in. We'll have them come in and we're going to do demos of these guitars so you can really hear what they sound like. We think that will be pretty cool for everybody. And then they're going to go in our guitar room and they're going to be available for anybody to come record with. Alright? Eventually, yes, they are going to go up for sale. It's kind of my motto. Everything is always for sale. And it's just the business model for the studio. But the money, when they do sell, goes straight back into the studio. And if you've been watching us on YouTube the past couple of years or paying attention to the gear, what we've been up to, what we've been doing, you'll see we're always moving forward. We're always progressing. And it is these types of things that help us help you, help the music community here in the UK, but also abroad. I mean, James does a lot of help with producers in America. Does a lot of educational stuff. We were just at the BBC Live introducing event, speaking for free in London, and getting to these places, taking time away from what we do to do these types of things. It all comes back a lot, largely in part, to the gear. So yeah, so that will happen, and there'll be people that are going to be upset about the markup and everything else like that, and people making a profit. But guys, that is business. That's just how life works. Fortunately, this time around, when they do go up for sale, they're not going to disappear in 2 seconds. All right, they'll be up there for a good long time. Everyone will have a shot at it. Obviously, they're going to be very expensive, but Dave did this type of sale years ago. It was early 2000s. He sold off all his Jacksons when he left the brand. And during that time, I didn't have enough money to buy any of those guitars. I missed the boat. I think I'd just gone into the Air Force. I was like 18. And yeah, I did not have much money in my bank account. I just bought a sports car. And yeah, these types of sales do not come around very often in an artist's career. So yeah, that's the deal. But even those guitars from way back then, I think there's one in Ireland that's up for like 12,000 euros, you know. So it's just the way the market works, guys. Aside from that, if you've got any more questions, comments, hate, we love those hate comments, leave them in the comment section of the video. I'll respond to all of them as quickly as I can. And I hope you appreciate getting the backstory on what the deal is with where all these guitars went. And I hope you can appreciate the new home they're coming to. And other than that, guys, stick around, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you again very shortly with many more cool guitars. This has been your buddy Keith from Essex Recording Studios, signing off. If you have the free minute to go out on other sites on the internet, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on all that stuff. It's at Essex Recording Studios. All right? Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.